I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 147. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know mine's been okay. Not gonna brag and say it was great, but it was okay. Let me get my chat lined up here. I'm trying to give everybody a couple of seconds to get in here. Basically, what I'd like to do in this portion of the show before I get started is kind of give everybody in this community, if you will, a formal apology for being a little bit of a shithead the last few days and interjecting some negativity into the show and community, rather. Kind of as I was thinking today a little bit about my life and frequency and all that good shit, I kind of come to the conclusion that I was wondering how frequency related to myself and how it related to each other, and I kind of come to the conclusion that our heart, is just the main part of an instrument that we project our vibration, our vibes, if you will, amongst and outward to each other, and just one big part of this vessel, this instrument, if you will. Our heart being the main part of the instrument, and our veins maybe being the strings. But nonetheless, I have no right to play this instrument, if you will, in a negative or broken manner to you guys. So with that being said, here's my formal apology for being a shithead the last few days. So without further ado, let's get our guest in here, Giant Mike. Very positive gentleman I'm looking forward to hanging out with tonight, so here we go. Giant Mike, hello, how you doing tonight? Welcome to the show.
Hey Eagle, hi chat. I'm doing great. Hope everyone's doing the same. Glad to be here.
Good day so far. I'm glad to have you here, Giant Mike. I'm glad to have you here. What you smoking on there already? What you got going there?
I am smoking on some super lemon sour, some super sour lemon, excuse me, from Veritas. If you guys can just do that. It's a fancy little jar. Try to can never get the bud any justice in the fancy jar. But, I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is. That's Colorado, famous for very dry weed from the dispensary, and I will say that definitely takes the cake. I mean, it just crumbles in your fingers. So not real happy with it, to be honest.
No, that stinks.
Yeah. Yep. I'm new to Colorado, so that was a big surprise to me. I didn't really expect that, to be honest with you.
Right on. How was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend overall?
Yeah, had a great weekend. Busy. I just moved here about a month and a half ago, so getting settled in, man, trying to get everything put together still. Kind of in that phase, so when we have time to do it, it's pretty much balls to the wall getting stuff done.
So where'd you come from before you went to Colorado?
I am an Indiana boy. Born and raised actually in Marion, Indiana. I know there's probably some people out in chat tonight from Marion. But yeah, grown up, born and raised in Indiana, unfortunately.
What brought you out that way? Was it cannabis that brought you to Colorado, or?
Cannabis, absolutely. Yeah, cannabis. Just tired of hiding it, man. I've been a grower for several years. You know, I've helped several people, done some consulting up in southern Michigan. So I'll be honest with you, about 7 weeks ago, in Indiana, I grow and breed CBD. I've know several. I've actually got several people in my family who are elderly who have some ailments. So in Indiana, everything, we don't have medical. Medical's illegal, recreational's illegal. So CBD is the big thing there when it comes to cannabis, obviously for medical conditions. So, since everybody pretty much knows what I do, I have to stick with the CBD there. But what actually got me out to Colorado was they actually came in and kicked my door in over CBD, Eagle. Took all of my plants, took all of my grow equipment. Couldn't take me to jail for it or anything, but pretty much let me know, that I wasn't real. They didn't agree with what I was doing, and even though it's CBD, it still shouldn't be legal. And so at that point, we had decided in a couple of months we were coming to Colorado anyway, so that just kind of expedited things. So here we are, man.
Right on. So I can't help but wonder, why not Michigan? A hell of a
Uh,
lot closer.
One, I'm a big DGC guy, big Dude Grows guy. So over the years, I've made a bunch of friends out here through Dude Grows. So one, the more established market. Two, the weather. I'm actually in southern Colorado in the desert type climate. So Indiana, the further you go up into Michigan, man, we're just getting into more snow up there. I'm trying to get away from that shit. So, and just, I love it out west. I don't know if you've ever been out here, Eagle, but it is gorgeous, man. Gorgeous out here.
I haven't. It's a little bit hard to hear you from time to time. I don't know what, your mic seems to be going out, in and out a little bit.
All right, is that any
But,
better?
that's a lot better. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can appreciate the weather thing for sure, but as far as the established market goes, I think Michigan's got a pretty good market taken off. It's unestablished, but it's definitely fixing to take off here. That's for sure. I mean, in
I
a big
agree
way.
with you. I agree with you. I think in the next several years, Michigan's going to be one of the bigger markets in the United States. So, but again, just a lot of it comes from DGC having people out here. I can tell you, if I go to the dispensary here, I can get an eighth of dank for $15-$20 after tax. I went this morning and got some live resin. I paid $15 a gram out the door. So that's kind of another reason. I've been up around Michigan plenty. I've been in the dispensaries. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big dispensary guy. Right now I don't have much of a choice. I just got here, so I don't have any of my own or anything like that. So
Right on, right on. I can appreciate that. Appreciate that again. So, when was your first time using the plant? I mean, that's where we usually started off at. Kind of skipped over that a little bit, but when was that first shot at?
first shot, I think I would have been about 13 years old in the seventh grade. I was an athlete growing up. I come from a big athletic town, I guess. So you kind of, if you play sports, you're kind of well known. Even as a younger kid, kind of people watch you and know who you are. So it was after a baseball game. I stay the night at one of my buddy's houses, and we're out back playing basketball. And he has some older cousins that kind of knew who we were from the baseball field. So they come up and are talking to us, and one of them says, "We're getting ready to go burn one." And of course, we think they're talking about a cigarette, and we're like, "Okay, that's cool, whatever." And they're like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes." And they're like, "Well, it's not a cigarette." And they pulled out a joint and kind of showed it to me. And I kind of got that creepy feeling at first, but my buddy's like, "I'm down," and I didn't want to be the only one that wasn't. So we took a walk around the block and smoked it. And I don't remember much. I just remember going back to my buddy's house and just laughing all night long. I mean, we laughed and laughed and laughed. We tried to play video games and we couldn't even get the game started. We were laughing so hard. And then we fell asleep and woke up the next morning and just talked about how much fun it was. And that was my first experience with cannabis.
Nice, nice. So, did it kind of stagnate there for a minute, or where'd it go from there?
So it did. I'd had kind of my first experience. I wasn't scared of it anymore, if you will. So fast forward, in my freshman year of high school, again, it was after a baseball game. This time there was about 7 of us from the travel team. We all stayed together at a buddy's house whose parents were out of town. And it was his brother-in-law, had a couple doobies and took us upstairs and just blowed the whole team out. I mean, all of us were just, giggling and cracking up. And then after that, man, it just became an every weekend thing. All the baseball guys got together, and that's kind of what we did, man. So, yeah, that's when it resonated with us. That's for sure.
Right on, right on. The good old days when a fucking old doobie could take out a whole team.
Oh, it was 2 of them, and I'll tell you what, man. We were drinking, of course. We started out drink. I don't think we drank another beer after that, man. We were just toast, dude. High as hell.
Right on. I remember though. I remember having some good pot back in the day that could take out like 6, 7 people, good friends. So I mean, for a few hours anyway, couple
Yeah.
good joints.
This was late
It's harder to
90s.
come by these days. So
It is. This was late 90s too. And back then, man, I don't know how it was, up in Michigan, but it was all swag, brown, seedy weed. I specifically remember this was not this. I didn't know what good pot was, but I remember the skunk smell stinking so bad. The whole house smelling like skunk afterwards. So I figure it had to be some pretty good, some pretty decent bud.
great on. So where'd you go from there? Where'd your cannabis use kind of go from there? I mean, did it something that you managed to keep throughout your whole life? I mean, was there any time where you
Yeah,
stopped,
I've been a
quit it all?
constant smoker. I mean, I've been so lucky, even the couple times, I went to college, smoked all the way through college. I even ended up on probation for underage drinking, still smoked the whole time, didn't have to quit for that. Thank goodness. So I have, I can't remember a time in my life without cannabis since then.
When would you say that you kind of realized the medicinal effects of cannabis? I mean, when did that kind of sink in a little bit?
Definitely in college. Again, being a big, sports guy, my body got tore up all through high school. I mean, from the time I was 5 years old until I was 17, I mean, I was on a baseball field or a basketball court every day, 4 or 5 hours a day. So, you have your team doctors who kind of cram the pain pills down you when you get hurt. I left high school. I didn't have any of that. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't even have a doctor. I went to Indiana State, which was down in Terre Haute, the southern part of Indiana, which I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody within 3 hours of me. So I was sore. I started noticing these pains, man. I'd wake up in the morning, after a workout, and I couldn't get out of bed, and I never had that before. And if I had that pain, I would tell the team doctor, and, he'd give me some pain meds, and that was that. But I started noticing these pains, and I'm like telling the guys, and of course they're making fun of me saying you're getting old, blah blah blah. But I know I'm 19 years old. I'm not getting old. Um, but I would notice at night, man, after class, I would smoke. I wouldn't have those pains. It would be in the morning when I got away. So I'm telling my roommate this. Oh, there went my porch light. I'm telling my roommate this, and he's like, man, I bet you the cannabis, the weed, man, is helping your pain at night, dude. You're not hobbling around here. And so after a little bit of testing, that's absolutely what it was, man. The cannabis was, I'd smoke and I could get up, and my ankle was always my big problem. I had stretched the ligaments in my ankle a few times. So after I would smoke, man, I would get up, I could walk around, I wouldn't be stiff. So from that point on, I was the believer.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer too. I mean, is it is just smoking it been your main ingestion method, or were you back then doing some edibles or anything on top
All
as well?
smoking, all smoking. That was before dabs even really. Like I'd had hash a couple times, you know what I mean? But that's not something that was around regularly. It was just smoking flower.
Right on, right So what's your kind of just jump ahead and back a little bit? What's your favorite ingestion method now? I mean, more flour still?
No, dabs. I'm a dedicated dabber, so to speak.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that makes me a little curious there on how that transition came about. I mean, was once you found the extracts, was it game on?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been smoking flower for so long. Dabs came along. At first I'd seen it on the internet because again, Indiana, you don't have access. That's you're looking on. You're watching fucking Talking Shit with Eagle and watching everybody do dabs, and you're like, man, why the fuck can't I do that? Well, I finally got my chance. I was in Michigan, actually helping a grower, and he pulled out his little dab rig, and he's like, "You want to do a dab?" And I'm like, "Well, sure, yeah." He's like, "You know what it is?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen it a little bit." Now, of course, he gives me, I don't know if your first dab, you got the little spiel, this isn't smoking flower, be careful, one little piece. So I'm thinking, yeah, yeah, yeah. This dude gives me, it was some shatter. He rolls it up in a little ball, heats up the banger, drops it in there. And I remember hitting it. And I remember I felt like my eyelids hit my forehead, man. Like my eyes just boom, buggy. And I remember sitting there for a minute and I had to collect myself. Like I had to kind of collect myself. I was so high after that. And then after that, I was just like, wow, I have not been that high, man, in probably 15 years. And I was sold right then, man. Like, let's do it. So from then on, it went in, from smoking flower to how can I harvest the glands off of this flower to get more dabs. So, and just the snowball.
I can see that. I mean, I enjoy the dabs myself, but man, I still very much appreciate some flour. Still like smoking the flour. In fact, I after some heavy dabs, I gotta have some flour to kind of level me back out. I get a little bit too heady, a little too antsy, and I gotta smoke a joint, fucking kind of level back out, enjoy that high for sure.
Sure, I still like flour. I still smoke flour. I actually tell people I supplement my dabs with flour. That way I'm not sitting there smoking, a quarter of concentrate a day. There's another half of me. It's actually the dabbing queen who unfortunately isn't here tonight. We're big Rasta Jeff followers, so a lot of people actually know me and the dabbing queen. We're usually kind of together. But I have her too, man. So, if you get me and her going down on some dabs, we'll put, a quarter ounce away in a day, no problem. So.
Nice, nice. That's a lot of dabs. That's a
It's a
lot of
lot of
dabs.
it's a lot of dabs.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not even. I'm not even in that close. I can throw some hack now. I can go on some bubble. I can fucking probably weigh in on a fucking comp like that, but not straight up dabs. I
Sure.
could probably fucking put some hash and fucking flour all day long and smoke that shit, or just in bowls, but not dabs. No way, no way. I'd smoke a quarter ounce of dabs. I'd be fucking done. In fact, I usually use the puck in a fucking nectar collector. That fucking gram will last me fucking 4 or 5 days using that nectar collector, man.
Yeah,
You guys be
nectar
done with that
collectors.
probably about a half hour.
Yeah, I got to have some water filtration. Even though like they have the nectar collectors with water filtration, I still can't get the. They're a lot rougher, man, than a rig to me. So I think that's part of it.
So, what kind of temperatures are we talking? You a hot dabber?
No, low temp, low temp. E-nail, and every e-nail is different. I like to have my e-nail sit right around 600. And people say that that's actually not low temp, but my e-nail says, to have it set at 710 to use it. So to me, if I set it at 710, it just is too hot for me. So I like to keep mine around 6.
Yeah, I prefer a little bit more cooler dab when I do it. It's a little easier on the lungs, and it seems to be a little bit more flavorful.
You taste it a lot more. I like the terps, That's part of why I like to dab is them terps. So if you're up there, you get your heat too high, you just burn up all your terps. So pointless to me, but hey, to each their own.
I think that temperature really regulates the high overall as well. I find them super hot ones are like, dude, definitely make me antsy. Shit, to wear like a cooler dab, more flavorful and more relaxing for me. You know, I don't find it get that raciness from a cooler dab as I do the hotter ones. Dude, I don't know if you find that as well, but it's something I've kind of come across.
I do notice, and it's funny, me and my buddies were just talking about this the other day. It seems like the times where you do kind of get that punch in the face to where you got to kind of sit down for a minute after a dab is when I take a real like hot dab. Like that's when I kind of get that heady spin and that like I don't like that feeling at all. I like to get stoned, but that's too much for me, man. To where like I feel like I'm gonna black out from it. And I'm sitting here with guys, trying to get that effect, and I'm like, that's crazy, man. You ever had that, Eagle? You do a dab and you feel like you're gonna black out from it, man. Just get that big old hot air in your lungs, and
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, I'm not too cool on that feeling either. Like you're about ready to just kind of reset there for a second. And
yeah, they can't even talk and have a conversation. I mean, that kind of runs it for me when you're sitting there trying to clear your throat and catch your breath from a fucking dab. It doesn't. I don't get it.
with them hot dabs, I seem to always get that like tickle for like 10 minutes, where I just it's kind of just caught there for a little while. Not quite a cough, but it just you know
Yeah, you can't
just
get it out
bugs
of your
for a while.
throat. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're
Yeah.
sitting there for 10 minutes, like you can't even talk because you're trying to get that little tickle out of your throat and eyes are watering. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
We got them all wanting a dab, talking about dabs.
The dabs. Hey, I'm always down for a dab.
Yeah, well, let me get set up here, and I guess we'll give them the dab song real
Yeah, let
quick.
me get set up.
Friday's up way early. Holy shit!
Where's he
I
from?
preach. I do. Germany.
Is he from Germany? Wow, awesome. Is
Yeah.
DOA on? I can't see chat at all. I actually talked to DOA earlier on the phone today for the first time. So
I'm
you're out.
sure he is.
Shout out DOA.
Yeah, it's a bummer you're not able to see chat there.
Yeah, I was gonna have. Well, I was actually gonna be inside, but I've got my stepdaughter sick, and they're laying on the couch, so I run my whole computer room. So I'm actually posted up on the porch now. But I didn't want to reschedule on you, man. You've had some bad luck lately, so.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that shit.
I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, yeah, I've had some bad luck with that the last few days. That's for real. It's kind of funny though. I don't know if you were. I kind of apologized before the show there, before I let you on, for being a bit of a butthead, because this shit was like really starting to chip away a little bit, and it's kind of making me a little negative. And then it's the damnedest thing how like somebody reaching out to you out of the blue there. I didn't even start the dab song here. I'm fucking dabbing away and shit. Uh, fucking how somebody reaching out to you just kind of out of the blue can like just set off a switch back, turn that switch back on. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Fucking fire you back up. And I needed that shit. Man, did I need some firing
I
up.
community's all about picking each other up, brother.
Heard that.
They've always been there for me. Every time I've needed it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was just kind of what I needed, to be honest with you. There we go. Here's the dad song. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it's gonna play out of phone So what are you dabbing on, Mike?
I am dabbing on. You had to ask. I got a smorgasbord. I've got some Kim Dog live resin, some melange live resin, dabbing on some Floho. All of it's live resin. I've got Kaya's Kim and Flowberry for tonight.
Damn.
So I got a little day here.
Nice. That's a nice selection. Hopefully they're treating you good when you're getting it like that.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, man, 6 grams for $90 out the door. You can't beat it, man. Quarter for 105.
Oh, that ain't bad. Oh shit. Yeah,
I know it. See why I came to Colorado, right?
Yeah, you would have maybe got like 2 grams for that here in Michigan, I believe.
Actually, my sister,
2, maybe 3.
My sister, she went up to the dunes this weekend, and she was in LaPorte, Indiana, but I don't know what city's right across the border, but she went to a dispensary right across the border there in Michigan, right? So she calls me and tells me she went, because she came here to visit me when I first moved, but that was only her second dispensary trip ever. Well, she came here first, so like I said, $15 a gram out the door for live resin. So she calls me and she's like, "Man, Mike, so I went to a dispensary in Michigan," she said, "and I got 2 grams of diamonds in a pre-roll for $105. She's like, "That's a ripoff." And I was like, "Eh?" I was like, "That's what it is." She said, "No, listen." She said, "Then I get home." She said, "And I look at it." And she said, "In both of what I thought were grams of diamonds were half grams of diamonds." So they sold her 2 different strains of diamonds, 2 half grams in a pre-roll for $105. So I don't know if that's normal prices, but holy shit, man. Ridiculous.
I've seen it. I've seen a gram of diamonds go for right about that. I mean, I was just at the event there at 710 in Clio, and I got a gram of diamonds and sauce. It was Grease Monkey, and they wanted $100 for it. I mean, they charged. I got it for 60, smiling and talking for a minute, but I ended up getting it for 60. But they wanted it. They were gonna ask 100 for it. And I was like, not
Yeah.
really, but obviously they're getting it.
Yeah. They're getting it, and people
Not
are
out of
lining
me.
up for it, man. That's what gets me. They're lining up for it out the doors and shit. From what I don't know if they still do that. I know, a few months ago I was up in Michigan and I was going to stop at a dispensary, and I kept driving, man, because they're lined up so damn far. It's like, fuck that, dude. I'd just call my buddy. You know what I mean? I have to wait in line for that shit and pay $100 a gram apparently.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was about a month ago that it was just as bad. I think I got 3. It was a gram and a half for $100 of some diamonds and sauce while I was down there,
Yeah.
and that was down in the Flint area. It was hard to accept, man, but
Yeah.
I don't
Hey.
fuck around with diamond. I'm not making that kind of extracts up here. I grow flower and I make me some bubble, and I should be pressing. I don't know why I don't have a press yet, or I'm not fucking around with it, but I don't. But if I
Yeah.
want something other than bubble or flower, I've got to fucking out of pocket that shit. It hurts every time.
I know.
Hurts every time.
Yeah, I don't know how to make no fucking diamonds. You know what I mean? I've blasted before. I've open blasted before. I've got some buddies who have helped me out and kind of extracted it, but I've always pretty much had to buy it too. But again, out here you're so spoiled. You get into your premium stuff like your 710 Labs. I don't know if they're pretty big, but that you're talking 60, $70 a gram for out here. If you want like your 710 Labs, then your green dot's probably your second most expensive. With all the Rasta Jeff people know about the green dot. That's you're 40 to $50 a gram depending where you're buying that. So, but yeah, the $100 shit, that's crazy, man. That kind of blew me away. I guess I'd never bought diamonds in Michigan to realize they were that expensive. Kind of blew me away when she told me they were that much.
Yeah, I mean it's good, but I'm just not that. Yeah, I can't. I don't like parting with them kind of dollars for grams. You know what I
Yo,
mean? And
I know.
them fucking gold prices right there. That's damn near equivalent to gold right there. I mean,
Yeah, no
I'd rather
shit.
be buying gold.
Yeah, how much in a troy ounce, but you're about damn right, man. That is gold prices almost, man. Crazy. Hey, we're in the right industry apparently, right?
Yeah, just in the wrong field, I guess. In the right
Yeah,
industry, just kind of in the wrong.
yeah. Hey, we can learn, right? Shit, I think we're both intelligent enough. Something we could learn.
That's definitely true. I think I got enough guys that could teach us all some amazing shit. That's for sure.
Right.
Hell,
Exactly.
we've had Indra on. You know, Indra is, in my eyes, he's one of the kings of the extracts. He's actually the one that came up with the patent for, the whole BHO process. If he can't
Yeah,
walk us towards some diamonds, nobody can. In fact,
you're
I've
right.
seen some of his diamonds. They're actually, beautiful. He's
Oh, I
been
could.
smoking THCA diamonds way before we were even talking about this shit. When I was even starting to grow, he was, smoking THC diamonds probably. And so, we needed any help. I'm sure we could get it from him. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
him. Get Pedro on here. I've tried Pedro's rosin, and I'll tell you what, man, that's about the best THC product I've ever put in my mouth, in my lungs, man. Pedro's rosin's incredible.
Have you got to meet up with him face to face while you're there, or did you just happen to, come across some of his product?
So in January, before we moved here, we came out here. So we decided 2 years ago we were actually going to move to Colorado. We started visiting Denver and just kind of fell in love with it. But in January we came out for the Indo Expo, and the DGC had a dab bus out there, right? So you can't. The Indo Expo is like a non-consumption event. You cannot smoke in the event. So what the DGC did was they rented a dab bus and parked that motherfucker outside. So anybody could come out there, and you could do dabs, you could smoke. Tanazi had a table out there, and there's another girl. Shout out to Lovin' in Her Eyes. She's a Colorado grower, just excellent woman grower. If you guys definitely should check her stuff out. But she had actually brought a bunch of flour out there, just samples for everybody. So, Tanazi's out there rolling up joints and doing dabs. So I walk in the dab bus, and I sit down, I kind of pull out my stuff. I look to the right, JR Token, Pedro, and Dizzy are sitting out there. And then Keith from Black Cell, Stabby from Embracing Organics, Stabby's out there, Dirtman Dan's out there, Tanaz. So literally all of them are out there, man, and we just start doing dabs. So we sit out there for probably an hour, just shooting the shit, kind of like, how do I walk into this? Kind of like my dream, fly out there 1,000 miles away and then run into all those guys. So yeah, man, I end up sitting there shooting the shit with them forever. I parted with some of JR Token's flowers, some of Pedro's rosin, and we've kind of stayed in touch through the shows and Twitch and everything else since. So Pedro lives about 5 hours from me, but I am my first. Again, I just got moved in. I'm buying my first nice Colorado rig. Well, of course, I can't buy it off anyone else other than Pedro, I feel like. So we're going to venture over to Pedro and pick up a rig here probably in the next couple weeks. So hopefully I'll have some rosin to talk about in chat and tell you guys how great it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's been a fucking nice epic day there to hang out with all them cats.
Oh, it was
That's for sure.
incredible, man. It was incredible. We didn't expect it. Like I said, that was our real first adventure into actually meeting the cannabis community in person like that. You know what I mean? And to jump in and meet those guys, talk about intimidating as hell, man. But they all opened up open arms, let us. It's like we've known them forever, man. So it was really cool.
Right on, right on. Yeah, that's badass. It's a tough one to follow up for sure. But that's
Yeah,
pretty awesome that touch base with him and now you're actually in the state and can actually hook up with him again. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm headed up to Denver to see Tanazi. He don't know it yet, but next weekend I'm headed up to Denver to see Tanazi. I was supposed to go a couple weeks ago and we had to reschedule. So, but yeah, I mean, it's cool as shit, man. Everybody's so cool out here, man. You know Tanazi, don't you? I think I've heard you talk about Tanazi.
Yeah, he's been on the show a couple of times, and I actually talked to him here on the air while he was on uh, Thursday about coming back on. He was like, "Hell yeah!" He was the first episode that I actually omitted to on the air of indulging on some psilocybin, before the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of. We knew beforehand, like right when we talked about doing an episode, we were like, "We're gonna do this," and I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And so yeah, we kind of fucking dosed up pretty good before the show, and it was a good episode. It was a real good episode.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like Tanazi. You know, we're not BFFs or nothing, but I've talked to Tanazi a few times, but that definitely sounds like Tanazi. Tanazi's a great guy, and I mean, you want to talk about a stand-up guy? He's about as stand-up as they get, man. Tanazi and J.R. Talkin. If you ever cross ways with J.R. Talkin, man, I mean, I definitely give them guys a seal of approval. If they'll tell you they're going to do something, they're going to do it. You know what I mean? Nowadays, that's a lot to me, man. I mean, just unfortunately, it seems like less and less people are like that. So
I have to agree 100%, 100% on that. Very hard to find people that live up to their word these days. I mean, sad but true.
yeah, sad. Loyalty is a thing of the past, man. Scary. Everything I grew up, believing was good is now just a thing of the past. Kind of screwed up.
Right on, right on. So, when did you? When were you able to start growing?
So my very first venture in growing was back in college. Would have been in 2001, 2002. Some roommates, we decided we were going to grow some weed. Had no clue what we were doing. I think one of my roommates had read a book. So we had a little space. It was probably 3 feet by 2 feet. It was crazy. It was actually below the ceiling, like the way that they build like some of these places for universities. They'll take a house and they'll turn it into 5 apartments. So storage is kind of a big thing. You don't have a lot of storage space, so they'll build these cubbies in the wall for you. So this was actually a cubby that was kind of built into the wall, off the ground, about 4 feet off of the ground. So we decided to throw a light back there and a fan, and we tried to hide the little opening of the cubby. So yeah, we did that. And we grew it, and we actually got some bud off of it, and it was like, didn't even get as high. We knew enough to flip it to 12 hours of light. We knew enough we had to give it some miracle grow. But that was about it of that one. We harvested, dried it out, smoked it, and it smelled like ammonia. So I'm assuming we didn't really dry it right or whatever. So that was my very, very, very first experience with growing. So again, that was 2001. So then in 2008, I was having some health issues. And again, I remember back to college about all the pain that I was in and how much the cannabis helped. So I started, smoking heavy, and the cannabis was helping with my pain. Well, I decided that I couldn't afford to continue to buy it like this. I just had a kid, and so I decided I was going to, this was back in like the Roll It Up Grass City Forum days when that was big. So, I decided I was going to do my research and buy a light. So I did. I actually put it up in my attic. Decided for my first, real grow, I was going to do deep water culture. And that's what I did, man. I got it rolling. The temps were up there, were getting too hot. So I ended up cloning it before it ever got to flower, putting it in soil, and then I set it outside. I had a big bush in my front yard, so I actually cut the center out of the bush, so you couldn't see that there was a big hole in the middle of the bush, and I stuck the plant in there, and I just continued to water and feed it until it finally flowered out, and I got some amber trichomes. And I harvested it up, dried it, and sure as shit, I smoked it. And it really wasn't bad bud, man. And from that point on, I was hooked. It just, I mean, transpired from there. You know, I took it inside instead of an attic. I turned my garage into a grow room and, you know, kind of did my thing in there for a couple years. And then, you know, I bought my first house with the, you know, growing in mind. You know, part of buying the house was it had to have a grow room, you know, and I'm sitting there looking at houses. That's kind of how I was picking my house. You know what I mean? Which room has the best room that I can grow in and get by with it and not be fighting heat, you know? So, you know how it is, Eagle. It's just kept going from there, man.
It's funny. I do know how that is, and it's usually like, does it have a pole barn? And then you walk right into the house, straight over to the fucking fuse pocket. Oh, it is updated. Good. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Oh
keep
yeah.
talking. Keep talking.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I
Trying to
recently did it.
go
I've
ahead.
done it myself.
Okay. Say try to convince the old lady and talk her into what I'm doing, and wasn't what I was doing was hard as hell. But I think she knew anyways. You know what I mean? She just let me go. She just wasn't going to tell me she was going to make it easy for me.
That's funny. That's funny. So once you got, all right, once you went to that point, what was the next growth kind of looking like?
Next grow, let me think. So in that house, I just see so and straight off the bat, I'm still an old school ass HPS grower. I have always been a high pressure sodium. I started out vegging with metal halide, but actually now I just veg with T5. So my next grow, instead of 1,000 watt high pressure sodium light, of course I bumped it up to 2. I split my room in half. Had a half flower room. Half of it was for flower, half of it was for veg. So, you know, instead of having 2 separate rooms, I just had to half my room. And that was it, man. I was rocking and rolling. I kept about 10 to 12 plants in flower. You know, I was feeding a perpetual grow. So, you know, depending on, I was just, at the same time, I was also a full-time car salesman, which car salesman hours were not very friendly. So, you know, I was working 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, and coming home and trying to tend to that garden as well. So, you know, at times, sometimes the garden would slack a little bit from it, especially during the busy times of year. So, but yeah, man, and ever since, that's what I've pretty much stuck around. I like to, if I have the room, you know, keep it around 10 plants seems to be a good number for me, to where I can balance kind of my personal life, you know, my day job, and then my growing as well. Once I get more above that, I feel like my plants start to suffer a little bit because I can't give them the attention that they need.
Right on. So, tell me a little bit about your system there. Do you like to grow in cocoa? You a dirt man? What do you
I
like to
am
grow?
cocoa. I switch it up. I mean, I'll go into soilless mix sometime, but my love is cocoa and synthetics. You know, veg bloom. I run veg bloom roots. I like a 70-30 cocoa perlite. Low EC. You know, feed it. Uh, I mean, in flowers, sometimes I'll feed 3 times a day. You know, depending on the strain. So I push my plants. You know, some people like to say less is better. I kind of go on the other theory there. I like to push the shit out of my plants. You know, I'm the one that, you know, I like to burn the tips of my leaves. That's, to me, that tells me when I've pushed too hard. That's when I need to back off. You know, some people, you know, if they see burnt tips on their leaves, it makes them sad. To me, it makes me happy because I know, you know, I've pushed that plant as far as I can.
There's some truth to that. That's some truth to that. I mean, it's just a matter of, I guess, finding that spot that burns them and then backing off and knowing you're going to have to wait for it to recover just a little bit. And,
You're
fall back
exactly
into
right.
that sweet spot.
But the next
But
time,
once you've got that strain dialed in, the next run, you know exactly where that line is without the burning.
you're exactly right. Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as far as like technique goes, I mean, how do you like the plants to look there before you put them in the flower? Some giant old buds right there.
Yeah, so yeah, I train top, lollipop, nice canopy. I want the biggest, fattest tops I can get, and as many of them. So, I definitely, again, I'm a big Rasta Jeff follower, so I'm a big, pop, twist, super crop. I don't trellis as much, but I LST the shit out of my plants, so I spread them out, But that's it. I like to get mine spread. I like to fill my room is the main thing vertically. My challenge, like most people's vertical. So I wait till, that again, it's all strain dependent on that perfect spot to where I know when I flower, it's going to grow up to the light, but not get into the light, if you will. I think pretty much like most people do.
Right on, right on. So, do you like? I mean, are you a heavy de-leafer both in veg and in flower? That's something I'm a firm believer in, but both
I
in
do.
both phases.
Yeah. I go really hard in flower. Especially like week 2 of flower, I tend to go really hard. In veg, though, I think I do tend to go a lot harder than a lot of other people that I've seen. I know a lot of people, the defoliate argument. I think that argument's going to be there forever, just like the flush argument. You always have the people who are going to do it and the people who are not going to do it. But me, I do. I tend to do it. I tend to go pretty hard. I see the benefits from it. I see the growth after. I see the bud sites and flower. I see the bud sites coming on after I defoliate in week 4. You know how it is. So my question for you: do you have a set defoliation pattern, or do you just go as you see it? The plant needs it.
I pretty much go as I see the plant needs it, basically. In flower, I usually do hit it right around week 3. Is the first time I really hit it. But if it needs it throughout flower, it needs it. I'm not going to hesitate just because it's 5 or 6. Oh, they need to be there. If it's in the way, or if I see a red stem on that leaf, it's got to go. Gotta go.
That's
Just
how I
because
am.
time.
If
If I
it's in the way to go, and people get on me for that, and it's like, why? Who gives a shit if it's week 6? You know what I mean? Who cares? If it's blocking the sun, it's blocking the sun, buddy. That's how I feel about it. But
Well, and I do kind of keep somewhat in mind the location of the leaf when I'm picking too, especially in the flower. If it's you know at a point where this is here's a branch and this is the main stem and there's a leaf hanging off here, I'm not worried about this supplying that branch with growth. Get that fucker out of there. That branch
yeah,
don't need to grow no more. Let all that energy go to the bud. So yeah, the location of where that leaf is too definitely makes a difference when I'm plucking.
absolutely. I tend to leave the top, like the 2 top leaves. I tend to not like to pull them off, and it's just a personal preference. I think I hate the way it looks. You know what I mean? Where you get your tops, then 2 top fan leaves, then big ones, popping them off, and you just have your branch coming up. Man, I hate for some reason, and I've heard other people say the same thing. I can't bring myself to defoliate those, man. Like I think it looks like
Oh
shit.
man, there's a lot of times where in veg, they'll look. I've done it a lot. I don't have one right now here on me, but I have ones that everything's been past that stage. But you can see, like this girl, I was showing her off yesterday. This hashish in there. That thing's never been topped. That thing's
Oh,
never
wow,
been topped.
wow,
That's because
really?
I did exactly what you're talking about. When she's about this tall, I'll deleaf that thing all the way down to where it looks. I mean, you'll be able to see the sights. You know what I mean? They're just protruding,
Uh huh.
just so I know they're already there and developed. And then I'll pop them leaves off, and then I'll leave that top, just like you're talking about, with them 2 big fan leaves, and
Uh huh.
then I'll leave everything else going. And every time, this is what I'll get is that bush. I leave that top on there just to kind of, keep it the shock from that, top of the plant and keep sucking in that energy, but keep pushing it down into them little sites. And every time, that's what I get. Without
Yeah,
topping. I mean, you can see
that's what I
the
go
plant
for. But
has not
damn, your
ever
looks
been
alive.
topped.
Fine, man. That's amazing. You did a hell of a job there.
Yeah,
What strain
yeah, I
is
got a
that?
whole. This is the Hashishin from North Star Genetics, which is
Okay,
Purple Mayhem times Colombian Red. So,
nice.
yeah, some
Yeah,
good
you hear
stuff
North
out of
Star
that.
nowadays, man. Seems like they're really fucking putting out some nice strains.
Yeah, yeah. They're actually helping with the grow off. They're a huge portion or help of the grow off that I'll be announcing tomorrow. That's about all I
Okay,
can say about it. If you haven't really heard about it, but
I've
tomorrow
heard.
I'll be laying it out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've heard. I kind of been waiting to hear what's going on with it, man. So I'm in chat every night. I don't. Man, a lot of times I don't get active in chat too much. I always say hey and whatnot, but I'm usually watching the show and doing 5 other things. So, yeah, I check you out every night, man. I always know what Eagles got going on. That's for sure. Hell, you're the only one that goes every
Appreciate
night, man. I don't think you understand what that means to us stoners, man. We get to talk. We get to be weed nerds every night now. We have Eagles. It's a big deal.
That means a lot, man. It really does, man. It really does.
The guys in chat know
Uh,
exactly what I'm talking. Or the people, I shouldn't say the guys. The people in chat know exactly what I'm talking about. We get to be weed nerds 7 nights a week now. It's hard to do that.
it is. It is. And as far as being a weed nerd is, I know exactly what you guys are talking about. I was on the other end of that for many, many, many years. Being a sub weed nerd.
Yeah,
I
no,
fucking this time of night when he came on, I dropped everything what I was doing and fucking hung out with the weed nerd, man.
you're an
Just,
original weed nerd. You're an original weed nerd. you,
that
you was you was a tester for sub, right?
yeah, yeah, for like 12 years.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
12
That's what
whole years. Great
nice.
guy.
Didn't you
He
say how many
himself has
you had grown for him at one point, or you tested for him?
57.
57. Someone told
57.
me you had said that, and I didn't hear it. Wow, that's incredible. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, he even gave me that. He gave me that title basically. It's funny because he actually there's a I can't remember exactly who he did it with, but in a radio interview where he talked about that in Australia, and I thought that was cool as shit. Yeah. But he's talked about it a few times in a few, interviews. I always thought that was meant a lot to me. So that was like on record. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Every time I'm like, "There's record of that shit."
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, it just being sub cool. I mean, there couldn't be a better guy to. I mean, if there was one person I could say I grew 57 of their strains, it would be sub cool. It's that's so awesome, man.
definitely, definitely a void that it needed to be filled there. I didn't. There's no way I set out to fill those boots, but it seemed to work out that way. That's for sure. Kind of, I guess.
So, I'll tell you
That
why, man.
slice of sunshine. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I,
Uh, they're talking about the grow off in chat here with North Star. The slice of sunshine isn't the strain, but I can tell you what, the major. I grew that, and that fucking thing was just dripping orange. That was a great strain there. And while I'm talking relay in chat, DOA wanted me to tell you hello, and he'll call you tomorrow.
oh,
That was a few minutes ago, and I kind of spaced that off, but I did pass the message. So
yeah. Sounds great, DOA. You got my number, buddy. Yeah, well, that's one guy right there, man. He inspires the hell out of me, just his attitude. You know what? He has every reason to have a bad attitude. He refuses to. And I think that's fucking great, man. I think everybody can take something from DOA.
positive, dude. That infectious laugh he has, for sure.
Yeah, he's one of those people you just can't be in a bad mood when he's around, you know, or when he's on the show. It's great.
Right on. So, what are some of your favorite favorite strains you've grown out so far?
Favorite strains I've grown out. Well, let me see. Probably my very, very favorite, probably, and again, just because I'm such a big Rasta Jeff guy, is Arise. Um, I loved growing the Arise. It grows really well. It's a fucking some dank. You know what I mean? Came out. I think about everything I was looking for. The Arise hit: yield, potency, smell, the terpene profile I like. So that one's probably my number one. Um, Number two, probably 9 pound hammer from old Jinx proof. I like the 9 pound hammer a lot. That's a good fun one to run. And I like Barney's gear a lot of Barney's gear. I haven't ran any in a while, I should say. I did run Gorilla Skittles. I take that back. I ran Gorilla Skittles about a year ago, and had some success with it. But it seems like back in the day, man, and I could get anything I got a hold of Barney's Farms was money. You know what I mean? The pineapple chunk when it first dropped, I used to run that a lot. Critical Mass, I think, was the other one. So yeah, those are probably my favorites. Hell, I've ran so many, it's hard to pick. It's hard to remember them all.
That's
Hell,
a rise there.
you grew 57 from one breeder.
I do, man. I go through a lot, man. This year alone, I've probably popped about 25 different genetics.
Wow, that's amazing.
12.
You get any new genetics from clone, or are all your new genetics from seed? You pheno hunt your own stuff, or do you ever cuts?
No. I pheno hunt my own stuff. That's for sure. I rarely the clone I took in from Jack Green's talk the other day was the first time I had taken a clone in probably 10, 12 years easy. I mean, easy.
Wow.
Easily.
Wow.
I
just don't like problems, or just want to enjoy finding your own phenos.
I don't like the problems, and I just unless it's coming from a credible source, I always do not doubt the genetics. You know exactly if it's true. And and after popping so many seeds, I know this might sound a little bit wrong, but after popping so many seeds and doing so many pheno hunts, it's like they're almost like stepchildren at that point. You know what I mean? Not that you don't have love for stepchildren or nothing like that, but when they first come into the garden or the home, they're not. You have to learn to love them and accept them. You know what I mean? You don't just take them in, and there's that threshold there, and I feel the same way with about a clone, man. You could drop a Mac 1 cut or whatever into my lap. I just walked away from some good Cushman cuts like a month ago. And I was like, do you want these? I was like, nah. Hey, I kind of like that strain. It'd be nice to have. No. I kind of offended him, I think, a little bit too. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But, I just don't do it. I don't do it. And then I decided to take one in from Jack. I kind of must have thought it was a trustworthy source, and true to what I was being told is I knew what I'd be getting. Rather, a little tongue tied
I don't
there.
think worry about anything with Jack. That's one of the things I was told when I got here was don't buy a clone from the dispensary unless you want to buy some pest along with it. And that really took me by surprise. You think if the dispensary's putting it out, you'd be pretty safe with the pest thing. But no, it's a common problem here with the clone from dispensaries.
Yeah, think about it. They're, most of the time they're not in like a nursery environment or nothing. they're usually set out in a table and in these provisioning centers. You know what I mean? Under a light, you just walk up and get it. How many people walk by them things every day? You know what I mean? You know, God, you know, they
Yeah, you're right.
might
You're
to
right.
tiny.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. You would think they would have a better system for it. You know what I mean? To kind of keep that. They have to know that that's a problem. Like, I don't know. To me, you know, just a little common sense goes a long way. But I guess that's asking for a lot sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. You know, it's still, you know, we don't have that problems here. I mean, when we they first opened up, clones were kind of a little bit more freer, and they were just like I spoke of. They're in a corner under a little fucking 2 foot, you know, T5 light. It was the flavor of the day. Whatever caregiver brought in some extras. That's what was there. And it could have been anything. It could have been loaded with bugs. I don't know how many times of many of them strains that I've seen some great strain names roll through there and thought, yeah, no. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
I'm that just couldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. I always look for it in seed form or just didn't do it.
sure. Yeah, I get it. There's some guys here that are in apartments that I know, and they've been asking me for clones because of that. It's like, sorry, I can't help you guys. You know, talking, you know, sitting around talking about growing stuff. Like, I can't help you. Then they tell me about the horror stories with the clones from the dispensaries. And it's just amazing. You know, taking down your whole grow. One guy was telling me he had a 10 by 10 room taken down by a dispensary clone because his buddy worked at the dispensary and told him he didn't worry about quarantining. Ended up with russets. Said he fought him for 6 months and finally had to just shut down. Just had to shut it down, man, to get rid of them. From a dispensary, I would be pissed. Like I would be in there probably ready to swing on someone if I had to shut my grow down over that shit. But I don't know.
I
I guess
think
you're right. I guess you should just know better.
well, and another thing is too that I guess we've come a little bit, well, a little bit further in the cannabis game too, to where if you're a little bit more knowledgeable and want to do some dunking and quarantining before you brought it into your room. But then again, you still don't know, you know,
Yeah,
if that thing has any kind of disease in the plant itself. You know, that's something that could be hovering in there that you can't even see with a naked eye, and that's a bummer as well.
yes, it is. Yeah, I seen a great grower today on Annabuzz was having some issues with this plant. I'm not going to say anybody's name or put anybody on blast or anything, but having some pest issues, and it was their fault, and they admitted to it. And man, I couldn't imagine. But this grower he's a good grower. He's a very experienced grower, and I mean, like I say, I'm not going to put him out there. He admitted to it, but I'm still not going to embarrass anybody. But it was just a mistake that he made, literally like a rookie beginner mistake that he made, and it pretty much ruined his grow, his harvest, you know. And it just sucks seeing that. But you know, it kind of humbled me a little bit. And remember, you know, you can't. It doesn't matter how good of a grower, how long you've been growing, if you do not follow the basics, especially with your IPM, you know, it can, no matter how experienced you are, it can ruin you. You know, it can set you back. I see people not doing IPM at all, and it's just like, wow, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn the hard way, and I guess that's what it takes for some people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, why wait? I mean, usually, if you're that person, I'm sure it would bite you on the ass right when you needed it the most. So why count on getting it on the ass right when you need it the most?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah,
usually when it happens.
you're right, and those are your best lessons too. You know, when you feel it the hardest, that's when you learn the most. But still, mm-mm.
So I hear you. You've spoken of loving your HBS lights, but are you ready to come over to the LED side of things? Have you grown at all under LEDs or helped assisted with some grows under
I've
LEDs,
helped.
perhaps?
I have helped. again, I'm not real versed in the LED lingo or whatever, but yeah, I have helped. I helped a guy under some HLG lights. They were supposedly, I think it was 2 lights, but it was supposed to be the equivalent of 1,000-watt HPS or whatever. And I can say, they did grow good. The weed was fire. The weed looked fine. The weed looked, it was fire, smoked great, had the terpenes, nothing, not that I'm saying LED's bad or that one's better than the other, but I'm just more experienced with the HPS. And I guess I don't know enough about the LEDs. It kind of intimidates me, man. I hear all the lingo and hear all the guys talking about it. It's just kind of over my head at this point.
I wouldn't let that intimidate you. All you need to know is that shit grows dank weed and it costs you a lot less to fucking run it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
for
more up
sure.
front, less out the wall, right? I mean, pays for itself, basically.
Oh, definitely. But it pays for itself really quick, though. I mean, in a lot of manners. Out the wall, in the long run, quality's there. I mean, quality's there now. Not having to chill your room as much and being able to throw CO2 in there, and for me that's huge because I'm growing in a open loop system right now. So there's really no use in me actually providing any extra CO2 in here. Actually, right now, ambient. Well, tonight it's kind of sucking. 475 ambient at eye level over there. But
Wow.
yeah, I couldn't. It'd go right out the roof. So there's no sense in
Yeah. See, and you got to
But
also,
if I took
so,
those four bangers down, and I could let the room naturally heat up to a decent temperature, now I could throw some extra CO2 in here, and it
yeah,
would help for sure.
yeah.
But,
See, the first LED light I seen was way, way back in like 2008 when they first came out with the UFO lights. Do you remember that? The UFO LEDs, man,
yeah,
that's
I
the,
got one right up there.
do you really? Okay. Yeah, that's the very first LED lights I seen. I remember my brother-in-law was telling me, "Hey, man, I went to the grocery store and they're talking about these UFO lights, man. They're the new thing of the future." And I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm like, plug it in. You know what I mean? Let's plug the motherfucker in. And he plugs it in and it's like this weird ass light spectrum. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that, dude. So like he ends up, he's my ex brother-in-law now. So the ex brother-in-law part happened. So I talked to him like a year later and I'm like, hey man, you still running them UFOs? And he said, no, I'm running HPS. So I just kind of figured it didn't work out very well for him or whatever. But, yeah. So that
Well,
was
I'm
my
not
first.
still using that same one.
Oh
By
yeah.
the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, then I heard all you started reading on, again, the forums, man. The forums, you got to take everything on the forums with a grain of salt. But, just, you always have the goods, any topic you're on, you always have the people for it and against it. And it seemed like with back then, the LED lights, the people against them made a lot more of a compelling argument to me than the people that was for them. So, but I haven't done any type of my due diligence at all on research on LED lights.
You about ready for a dab? They're asking for another one.
Yeah.
Light up again. Tim says he needs to wake up. Model
Yeah.
genetics is wanting a tamper.
What's
Hold on,
up,
I gotta
guys?
sync this thing with
I got some
the
seeds to
fucking.
give away here in a little bit too, man. If you guys want, sure, everybody wants some beans, right? Free beans.
Fuck yeah, that's a silly question. Everybody loves beans.
That's right. That was all the gifts when I got here, man. Everybody started throwing beans at me, and I appreciate it. But damn,
That's awesome.
was awesome. Yeah, wasn't expected, but I got way more than I'll be able to grow in probably the next 10 years.
Hell yeah, that's pretty damn even better.
Yeah.
Um, anything, anything in particular that has caught your eye that you know you have set aside for yourself?
Well, the next thing that I'm running that I can tell you is Rasta Jeff gave me the entire TMNT line. So that's my first run in Colorado. He's ending that line. So I kind of got as a gift. He gave them to me, and then like the next 2 days later, I heard he was discontinuing them. So that's my next run. But I've also I've got some Mac seeds, Mac One or Mac seeds or whatever the hell they are, that a buddy gave me that he actually bred himself, and so I'm really, really, really excited to run those. That's kind of like just a personal, more excited because I know the guy, more of a personal thing. It's his third breeding project, and his first two went really well. So this is the first time he's actually gave me his gear.
Throw on this dab song real quick. Cheers, guys. Here's the dab
Cheers.
song. Or at least a few seconds thereof. Still on the dang. Oh. It helps if I actually turned on the Wi-Fi, but you know, I'm even with the fuck ups. I wouldn't do the show any other way but live.
Right.
I'd rather stumble and fall right on the air than fucking record this shit.
Hey, right, man. Real. That's for sure.
You know, it's funny. They actually got the original song was the Offspring Intermission was the original dance song we were using. And then I found this one. And this one was so close the first time we used it because we were actually putting the eyes in it and shit. It got flagged by fucking Intermission or by the Offspring for being their song. It was for 13 seconds they thought it was their song.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So I didn't know that. So I've caught the dab song, and I remember you had to quit playing it or something. But I actually caught you on Embracing Organics. That's when I found you. You were on Embracing Organics, and then I think it was someone in chat maybe, or maybe it was the next week said Catch Eagle show right after this. It's fire. And I was like, the Eagle that was on last week? And they were like, yeah. So then I flipped over to your show, and now, dude, every fucking night I have to hop on Eagle and see what's going on, man.
Yeah, man.
Old lady gets mad at me, man. But yeah, like I said, I get to see all my weed nerds 7 nights a week now.
That's pretty fucking badass, brother. It means a lot to hear that. It really does. And now I do feel like the weed nerd because a little bit, because I do remember that right there, going through that as well. Oh, you watching that again?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to bed again? You're going to stay up and watch that? Yeah, I'll be in bed and I'm just going to see what. Yeah, I'll see you in the morning, motherfucker. That's what I get. Sorry.
Sounds very much similar. That's fucking funny shit.
Yeah.
BG in the house. What up, my friend? He's another badass Michigan grower right there. Him and Green laying down some knowledge here in Michigan. That's for sure. Amongst others. Amongst a lot of other good growers here in Michigan.
There are a lot of good growers in Michigan. I know I check out the Michigan Grows, which I've seen you on the Michigan Grows Bro show. You know, them guys are good. I like watching them a lot. They got a lot of knowledge, that's for sure.
I actually helped start that adventure over there. I was on there. Well, I was supposed to be the first episode, but I kind of fucking dragged my feet. So I was the second episode, and I was on all the way up until I think like 42, and then I kind of jumped off and started doing this. So
okay,
I've been around for a second. I hanged out for a second. I was actually asked at one point to be on the Cheap Home Grow show, but I wasn't ready for all that shit yet.
yeah.
I wasn't even, I was surprised I was doing the Michigan Bros Grow show at that point. But,
Sure.
I was actually, as far as that goes, the first handout I was to doing this was with Sub when him and Malik and Dung and them guys started doing that. I was asked to be a part of that early on, and I wasn't ready to do it. I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool with the Instagram. That's as far as I want to go. And then years passed, and then they Skillbo and Sequence hit me up while I was working Subcool's booth at Kushstock. I was selling some beats for Subcool, and they came up and asked me if I'd be a part of that project. And it was one of those things I was so honored, and it was uh, I was so honored, and it was face to face. You know what I mean? And I am terrible, terrible about saying no face to face. I mean, you know what I mean? If but I was honored, and I couldn't say no, so I said yes, and I'm a man of my word. As we were talking about earlier, if I
Yeah.
say I'm going to do something, I fucking do that shit. And so I said I do it. I they got me face to face, and I had nowhere to go, and I said I was going to do it. So there was nowhere to go but on camera. So it kind of just blew up after that. I've been doing it ever since.
Shit.
What up, Endo and the Breeders Collective? He was. Did you watch that episode the other night? I think it was like last Tuesday night.
I'm sure I did. Yeah, I don't really miss it. I don't see. I a lot of nights I don't catch the whole episode like for the rabbit hole, but I always pretty much catch most of the interviews. So was that the was his name Dave? Was that who that?
No, no, no. That was Fresh Pork Chops. I think he was on
That's that,
Sunday.
yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right.
Modern Genetics. It was the night Modern Genetics was on. uh, Endo
Oh,
popped
okay. Yeah,
in.
the
Well,
night it got crazy.
yeah. Modern started it off. Hopefully, it might not. It might been. He's in the house tonight, but Modern started it off and gave away some beans. And I was kind of like, you're right. I kind of was like, you know what? He started off, and I was thinking to myself, I have put these guys through some shitty episodes the last few weeks. I should really give out some beans too. So I started giving out some beans, and I gave out, I think like 4 packs, and then Endo jumped in and he gave away a shit ton. I think like 30 packs, his whole line, and then plus some. And then
Yeah, yeah,
Mystic Grower jumped in, which is free seeds for Subcool. Uh, was matching packs. I think all in all, it was like 30 to 50 packs of seeds in that range without, actually, I don't know for what, Endo's whole line is, but it sounded pretty steep. But there's probably 30 to 50 packs given away Tuesday night on the show. I mean,
yeah. I
that's
heard. I hopped off, so I watched I watched because I modern Gen X. I always see him in chat. You know, we always say hi, talk back and forth. So I wanted to kind of hear his story a little bit. But then I hopped off, and then the next day I hopped on, and I heard you guys talking about. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me, man! I missed it. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I didn't realize it was that many packs though. I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know it was 50 packs. Damn near. That's crazy.
this whole adventure. I bet you from day one, I bet you I bet you I've probably given away 100 packs, but I bet you there's been throughout from day one, 100 to 200 packs easy given away from episode one on the show.
That's awesome, man. Wow. So how do you
Try
normally
to
do it?
get.
You normally do numbers, or how do you do it?
Yep. I usually kind of look over, which I can't see it right now. Here it is. Say, holy shit! It says there's 75 watching right now.
Okay.
So I usually take that in consideration. And I kind of like, so 75 to give it a little giggle room or whatever. I'd say like probably 300 somewhere in there, 1 to 300, and pick a number type of thing. First one to get closest or on the number, and then within a minute and a half, which gives it, it's usually plenty of time, and
Okay.
usually works out pretty fair. Pretty fair.
All right. Well, if you want, hold on a second. Let me see what I got. I brought some stuff out with me.
No way obligated. I'm telling you that now. Oh shit, he's bringing fire.
The Dark Hollow. Right here, I got a 10-pack of Dark Hollow. Irie Genetics, regular seeds. I'm going to let Eagle do the giveaway. I'm not real equipped to it. So if you don't mind, Eagle, I'll let you kind of do the numbers and pick the winner and stuff. But yeah. Winner gets the beans.
Sure. Let me get the day straight here. Sunday the 16th. And Dark Hollow was the stream, right?
Yep, Dark Hollow. You guys can see that.
I like to write all that stuff down, so there's no discrepancies.
Sure.
I've learned a little bit since day one.
oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. That'll piss somebody off real quick.
All right, get my timer all squared away here. That's pretty awesome, you know. I'm sure I really appreciate you doing it. It sure helps people come and stay to the show when they see shit like that. But
oh, sure.
I'm sure on the other end, free genetics and fire genetics is always kick ass. That's badass.
Yeah, like I said, I've got money. More to come.
Going, holy shit. Holy shit. I'm holy shit. All right, let me get this magic word in chat here, ready? Got my timer ready. Check, check. Oh, we got to do a number. We got to pick a number. If you're on a phone,
yeah,
I'm on a phone. At least pick the number.
Okay.
We're going from 0 to 300. If you tap the screen, it will say chat. That's not. That's just a chat between me and you. They can't see that.
Gotcha.
So you can text me a number, and then I can.
What's the number between? One more time.
Between 1 and 300 is what we're going to here.
All right. Let's do. All right. I got one. I sent one.
Gotcha. All right. Now let me see here. We got start ready in here in chat. So, all right, you guys. One guess only, unless you see that somebody else has already guessed your guess. Then you are allowed one more guess. Multiple guesses will get you disqualified. You guys know that. White Feather, you guys wait until I see start. You see start, and here it is. Get those numbers back in there. Get those numbers back in there, Dr. Lightyear. White Feather.
Who's going to get them?
Got 72 currently right now, you guys. Johnny Can of Seed, you need to re-guess. Groze, re-guess. W. Digger, re-guess. Numbers are flying by. Sad you can't see chat. It's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I probably could have stole my fiance's phone and at least came out here and seen chat. But
so when you guys due to get married there? 36 seconds, guys.
We haven't picked a date yet, but we want to do it this year, this fall sometime. But we don't have an exact date. But we decided, I'm pretty sure, we keep going back and forth, but I'm 90% sure it's just going to be a go to Vegas and elope type deal at this point.
That's cool. That's what more do you need, really?
Exactly, man. Exactly. Save money. No one's got it yet?
I've seen some that are close. Let me shut this off. You guys, that was the alarm giving up the minute and a half. You put stop here in chat. right. These guys like their angel numbers as well as I do too. You know what angel numbers are?
I don't know.
Angel numbers are like repeating numbers, like 111, 222, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, like the 1111 clock thing. That's an angel number? Okay.
Yeah, they kind of help guide you a little bit if you believe in that shit. Man, it was weird. I never even seen them things until like probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden, them fucking numbers just like start appeared to me all the time. So now I take note of that shit. Every time I see it, I kind of take note of what the number is. All right, the winning number was 167. Let's see here. I think the closest I seen was 173 with I Grew Some. But that's so far. They'll help me out with that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
158. I'm going to set that up again. All right. I still say 173 was the closest.
Awesome. And then whoever wins, Eagle, I'll have them send their shipping info to you, and then you can just forward it to me if that's okay. It'd probably be easier for everybody to find you.
Yeah. That works for me. Let's see here. I see Johnny Keenan sees, yeah, you won. So it should be I Grew Some, right? Is that what I'm seeing, Chad? I Grew Some.
Nice. Congrats. Here you go. They're yours.
Yep,
Get your shipping info to Eagle. I'll get them out to you ASAP.
That's pretty badass. That's the fire right there.
Yeah, that's the fire. I haven't grown it yet, but I tell you what, man, if you get that Pheno JR token head, it's going to be some fire.
Wait.
That's the one you want, from what I hear.
Hold on, I fucked up. It's the General with 58.
Right? General?
It's 5. And I Grew Some would have been 6. Yep. The General hits it with 5. My bad. I'm sorry to get your hopes up. I Grew Some.
Pulled a Steve Harvey on you.
Don't lie. Yeah. My bad. Bad math. But they're right, though.
Get your shipping info over to you.
That's why I always put that number in chat, because they'll find it. Even if I say the wrong thing, they're policing the whole thing for me, you know.
Oh yeah. You got a tight knit group. I'll tell you what surprises me though, man, is how I see the same people in every place I am. Seems like it's the same group of guys, man, supporting. I love it, man. It's the Canna fam, that's for sure.
That sucks. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. I Grew Some. Now I feel like super bad.
That's all right.
You,
I got one.
Major Pearson. Send me your information. He deserves a pack too, anyway. That's a cool dude. You've been there from practically day one.
Nice. Heck yeah. So how long? I always see you in the Embracing Organic chat. Was you around there before you was on the show, or did you start checking it out once
in their chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch their show. I'm not like a dedicated viewer where I'm there every week, but I certainly do watch their show and have been.
Yeah, I've just seen you in there before, so I didn't know if you've been there the whole time and I just didn't notice it or what. Okay.
I like to listen. I participate in chat a lot, but I listen. I'm usually just like you guys when you're watching this, working in the garden, letting it hang in one ear or whatever.
Yeah.
It's got to be done, man. But for sure, a bunch of cool guys over there. That's for sure. I've had almost all of them on.
Yeah. Have you been trying to pull Fumi on? Fumador won't come on, or you guys have been joking around about it now? Semi-joking around about it now?
kidding to be semi-joking around.
I know you want him on, but you know what I mean. I know you're not joking about him coming on, but
Right. No, I actually asked him, I think last week to pop on. He gave me the usual, I'm busy. I'll try you in like 3 weeks or some shit like that. All
yeah,
right, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, how many times can you ask?
yeah, get it. I get it. Fumador's a smart motherfucker, man. Especially when it comes to the
Oh, yeah.
organics. You know, shit. Smiley,
For sure.
Smiley's man blows me away sometimes once he gets to talking on the organics, man. Just gets my head spinning.
Yeah, he's just another smart cat, too. The organics thing, I'm starting to head back that way, but there's little things like I was kind of bitching about the other night, man. I started playing a little bit, putting a little bit of worm castings. That last round, I mixed some worm castings in with my cocoa. Always playing a little bit, always playing, always experimenting.
Yeah,
And it could have been just that the company that I went with, but in came the friggin' fungus gnats with that shit. And that was like one of the biggest reasons I went over to just stripped out cocoa was to get away from the kind of buggy mess. And there they were. There
yeah,
they were back again. And I was like, which I was like really considering the organic thing. I mean, like really. And I'm still kind of thinking about it, but just that little bringing that little bit back, I was like, could this be a mess? And that's another thing too that I'm like, because I I don't want to jump in full force and change everything over. There's no way I could. There's no fucking way. I've been doing this too long. You know what I mean? And organics
yeah.
is a little bit slower system, and there's be some fine tuning there for sure to get it all to work right. And
And all the bugs, man.
so
All the to me releasing bugs all over my basement, man. Kind of doesn't sound real attractive to me. You know what I mean? I know they're supposed to stay in the pots, but man, you know, how I'm gonna talk the old lady into that one or how I would is beyond me. If any of you guys in chat have any tips, let me know. I'll watch tomorrow because I don't think that shit's gonna happen.
when I was going through this argument, I believe it was last night, Chris Mertz was throwing out some pretty decent advice. I think it was SPL 100 I threw out there, and some other suggestions on keeping that shit down. The crumble mosquito mix.
Yeah,
I forget what they call that shit.
the
Mosquito bite.
bits. Yeah,
The bits there. That was one suggestion there, but again, and and then I'm right back to some of the other issues that I have with cocoa. I'm still flipping it out, and one of the nice things that the selling points to me with the organics or wanting to go organic is the possibility of not throwing shit out, anymore, recycling the dirt and shit like that, which is more of a living organic system. And then now I'm fucking slowing myself down and in a weirder spot yet.
yeah,
Because
sure.
as I was kind of talking about with Chris last night, now I want you, my system is, clone 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 10 gallons flour.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I mean? Bump. Get the fuck out of here. And but you can't do that in organic, especially like in a living soil bed. You want that shit to veg and flower all in that same bed, and that don't fly with this system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. So there's a huge learning curve right there. For till that curve, I start to get up that hill a little bit. I'm still in fucking cocoa.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
I'm still hitting that cocoa,
Well, that's just, I
which is a
guess,
bummer.
yeah, but it's
I
just, I
called
guess,
my grocery
another
store today and asked for cocoa, and I've been waiting for my cocoa now for it was a week and a half. Now we're pushing almost 2 weeks, I wait for cocoa. So this could be like if I were like a year ahead of myself, I could really be digging some soil right now. Something that I would be more reusing. I do reuse the cocoa, but it comes to a point where it's like, I don't like to reuse it anymore.
Yeah,
But
I'm the same. Worry about getting salt build up. You're not getting it all off, soaking it. And I've never ran into problems, but I've heard of people. So I always have that in the back of my head. How many times do you reuse yours? How many runs?
shit, at least three. At
Do
least
you see?
three.
I like two. I've always been scared to go past two.
That shit's so chunky there, and I give it a good flush out, on the end there. I'm pretty confident that it's not too bad. So,
You would know if it
and I'm
wasn't.
mixing in. I'm mixing in some new too, so I don't always 100% reuse unless I'm in a pinch. Which this run I'm in a pinch, so that's what I'm having to do in some. But I would prefer to like I had one of those tins to a brick of cocoa. I used to grow it. It's like chips. It's almost like wood chips. I mean, it's you see it back there in that fucking pot. You can see it's almost like wood chips on top of that fucking pot. That's how chunky it is.
Yeah.
So I'll add one of those to one of those bricks, one of those 10 gallons, and I'll mix that in there for a little bit finer cocoa, something that's a little bit more broke down to hold water a little bit more, and then
Okay.
I'll add the straight chips to it for aeration.
I've never seen the chips that big before, like wood chips like that. I've seen some. I mean, I've seen some of the cocoa chunky like that, but not all of it. You buy whole bags of it that chunky?
Yeah, you can see just a little bit of it there. I mean,
Yeah. Wow.
that's bricks. I buy bricks of that. They're like $10 to $12 for
Okay. That.
2.5 cubic feet.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen them. You hydrate them and they come up. They like come to light. They blow up or whatever.
Right on, right on. Yeah,
Okay. Well, I
they
hate to
come
cut you
already
short.
buffered.
I've got to work in the morning, but I've got one more pack of seeds I want to give away before I hop off here, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Same amount of people. You gotta grab your soundbite too, of course. Hopefully, I can get
Oh,
this
yeah.
done.
I knew about that one. Yep. Let me see. What do we want to do? Well, stick. How about double dose? It's another. Keep it Irie.
Damn,
We can give away double dose. Dark Hollow
that's
double
fucking
dose.
badass. That's funny. You're like, sorry to cut it short. I just came on and fucking passed out some free beans. Like anybody could be bitching about that shit.
Yeah. Oh no, I got it.
What a
Wish I could
terrible
hang
guy.
out one.
What a terrible guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shoot that number over, brother,
Will
if
do.
you would.
See
You got to
here.
at least pick out the number.
Definitely will. Here you go. There you
All
go.
right, I got it. Get this. All right, I think I got it ready on both ends. You guys ready? Here comes start in chat. The timer is set 1 to 300. One guess only. Unless you have seen your number, then you get another guess. It is Double Days from I Read Genetics.
Double dose.
Dr. Buzz
Double
Lightyear.
dose.
Double dose. Yeah. Actually, I had it wrote down right. I just fucked it up.
Said it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are close, but no cookies.
Who's gonna get it this time?
71 people. I'm seeing some lag in chat there. That ain't right. Somebody's gonna get it. Might as well be you. Let's see who's closest so far. some lags in
Crazy.
there. Yeah, still got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. You never gonna win if you never gonna guess, Modern. Got 5 seconds. That's it, but you have until you see the word stop in chat. Alright, here we go. The winning number is 215. So, who had the closest to 215?
Who's got it?
So far, I think it's Ned Denver, but nope, Mystic Marks. Mystic Marks so far. So far, Mystic Marks at 210.
Okay.
Yep, Mystic Marks won.
Congrats, Mystic Marks. Nice. Got you some fire ass beans, brother. Make sure you post some pics or send some pics, man. I'd love to see some pics. I haven't seen very many of the double dose.
Hell yeah. I can't thank you enough for coming on and dropping some fire, man. It means a lot, man.
I love it, man. Thank you. I mean, it's the least I can do, support your show. Like I said, man, you're here every night, man. You let me be a weed nerd 7 nights a week. The least I can do is jump on and show you some love, brother.
I appreciate it. I'm throwing start on, so we are recording at the moment. If you want to give me your sound bite, you know how it goes. You should know how it goes, hopefully.
Yeah, I think I got it. This is Giant Mike. You can catch me on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle.
Nice. Thank you, my friend. And I do truly appreciate it. You jumping on tonight.
No problem. Hey, if you guys want beans, make sure you send your shipping address to Eagle, and then Eagle, make sure you send that to me on Instagram if you would, and I'll get those out as soon as possible. Probably tomorrow, but definitely this week.
Nice. I will get that to you ASAP. Get some rest, my friend, and thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Much love, everybody. See you guys. Thanks, chat. Thanks, Eagle. Bye.
Have a good night. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Giant Mike. It was a great episode. You guys know the deal. Check back in a few minutes for the rabbit hole so we don't have to take out Giant Mike's great episode. Don't want to take you. I'm not taking the chance in copyrighting any more of anybody's episodes, so they can stay up and be remembered for as long as they can stay up. So with that being said, if you guys would follow along into the rabbit hole, should be ready in about 5 minutes. If you guys have had enough of the show, I can respect that as well. But you guys know the deal. At least get out there and do something nice for somebody. Be positive. Random acts of kindness do save lives. They do change lives, but ultimately they do save lives. I can't say enough of that about it being very true. Day after day, the great people in this community, the great people in my life, prove that to me daily. So, if you guys don't want to follow along with the rabbit hole, please at least remember that when you move forth. Have an amazing journey for the rest of the day, for the rest of the evening. And I look forward to seeing you either in the rabbit hole or tomorrow. Please, tomorrow I will be announcing all the info, the strain, what strain will be released for the grow along, and starting to take names tomorrow night. So don't miss that. And otherwise, you'll miss first. The grow off is on a first come, first served basis. So if you miss tomorrow's episode, you may lose your chance and place in line. So see you guys in a minute. Much love. Peace.